Alrighty, here we go. My name is Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. I wrote this book called Ideal Man, Reviving Masculinity. You can get that anywhere fine books are sold. It's on Amazon. You can get it from my website, travisneville.com. You can go to Walmart. You can basically Google this and you'll see a bunch of websites you didn't even know exist. They carry it, which is pretty damn cool. Yeah, go out there and get a copy if you would. If you enjoy my show, if this helps you, which is the whole damn point, trying to get you to be better at being a man, give me a little support here, man. Buy a book, buy a t-shirt. If you buy a book, I'll probably send you a t-shirt anyway. That's just, I'm still trying to build this thing and get the word out in front of people as much as I can. To that end, I had a nice compliment last week. I got, I talked to a guy named Michael Kurchina. He runs a brand like his Instagram page is called We Fight Monsters at We Fight Monsters. Uh, Definitely recommend you check out what he does. He's real heavy into um, the veteran space. It's a lot of dealing with sort of the demons that you have as you come back. Post-traumatic stress from something like that. And man, I mean, how much of what I talk about is that? I mean, the whole chapter on violence is hey, you have the luxury of complaining about violence because people who are willing to engage in it are there to protect you. And he's represents the kind of people who are there to protect you. So get a chance, check out his stuff. Again, We Fight Monsters. Additionally, you guys know Philip Folsom. He's been on my show before. I just got his book. It's called Team to Tribe. It's an excellent read so far. I'm only I don't know, let's see, 32 pages into it, but I feel like I'm already a better football coach. Uh, yeah, you guys know I have a very high opinion of him. I'm lucky to be able to call him a colleague. Uh, He's an anthropologist from USC, and he runs K4 Men's Group and does a lot of other very helpful things. And I asked him if he would please do a forward for the new book, which is going to be called Mastering Masculinity. And he said yes. So I'm excited as shit to hear back from him on that. I sent him a draft of the manuscript, and while I've been waiting for him, and it's no problem, he can take his time. He's given me the time to really go back and get some good detailed edits on the new book, Mastering Masculinity. I very much anticipate that will be out by June, so be excited for that. I sure as hell am. That'll be my third book, which is a big deal. Mastering Masculinity will be a midlife checkpoint for men. Where are you? How are you doing? Uh, are you achieving at the rate you should be? Whereas the reviving masculinity, these are habits, and this is really very much geared towards young men who were raised without fathers. Um, if you've been practicing these 18 habits, you know, what should that have accomplished in your life? What should you have gained? What should you be enjoying in your life by midlife? And so that's what mastering masculinity is. It's an inventory things that concepts, ideas that you should be enjoying in your life, like love. You should have love in your life. You should have mastery, professional and personal. There should be, you should have camaraderie. You still need mentors at all ages. Lots of good information in there. I'm proud of that book. It turned out real good. Again, I'm still just kind of tweaking it. As soon as I get Phillips forward, then I can send it to the publisher and get going through that process. And she'll be out and about. That's what's going on. Uh, I've had some tech issues here. I think I need to just get a whole new setup. I struggle with the tech stuff anyway. I think it's time for a new camera, new mic. I got this cool sign back here. There's my new office, everything. I think it's just time to update everything. My camera in particular is just the one that's built into my laptop. I need to get something a little more clear so it doesn't look like I'm filming on a flip phone. For those of you who watch this on YouTube or Rumble or wherever. So that's where we're going to go with that. So today I would like to talk about work. Um, I'm realizing that uh, what I'm selling, okay, the concepts that I'm putting out there, uh, that I purport, that I support, are have to do with work. Okay, I mean there isn't a thing in this book that isn't work related. I mean, being physically fit, that's working every day. Knowing how to manage your violence, that's work, mental and physical. Being calm, that's a lot of mental work. I mean, everything in here is work, okay? Everything that's worth a shit in your life is work. But I think that's why, um, I don't know, it just hit me in the gym the other day that I've made, I've written a book that's selling work to a bunch of people that don't think they need to work. You know, those young men who aren't successful and aren't very happy have gotten by this long because with the self-esteem movement in schools and being raised by single moms who really are kind of only concerned with feelings and it doesn't feel good to work hard. So, I got all these people that think they're awesome just because they're alive, which is what the self-esteem movement in schools have taught these young guys. And I'm telling them they need to do a bunch of work. And, so for those who I think need it the most, they're going to be the least likely to pick it up and do what I'm asking. And that's a hard conclusion for me to come to. And let's just even look at the format for fuck's sake. If you want to help people do a thing, you kind of have to meet them where they are. Right? And I love that phrase of meet somebody where they are. I never really understood what it was, but let me explain it to you briefly. If you are dealing with someone who is very afraid in that moment, and you are not, and you're trying to very calmly explain things, you're not meeting them where they are. You have to address what their feelings are. For example, I always use the one about the kid getting bullied at school. And, your boy comes home, he's getting bullied, and mom gets very emotional about it, wants to go down and do some yelling at the principal, wants to yell at the teachers, whatever, call the other boys' parents, whatever it might be, but she just wants to go over there, down there, and then protect her son. And she's very emotional about that. And what she's concerned with is that young boy and his feelings and that being hurt and him being sad and him being upset and being afraid and all these negative feelings. She's concerned with quelling those. And you as a man are going to look at that situation. You know damn well that everything she's doing is actually going to hurt your son long term. That mom, and it's a great motivator. It's a great motivation. She wants to protect her son, and dad, you know that what you're not going to do is what you're doing is making him realize that his own protection is the duty of others, that he doesn't need to stand up for himself, let alone anyone else. So you take him downstairs and teach him how to fight. Well, the conversation with his mom, you need to meet her where she is. So what that means is you're going to talk about, hey, I know what it's like to be afraid, and I know what it feels like to be bullied, and I remember how embarrassed I was by that. And I want him to be able to fix that for himself. So that's the meeting 'em where they are part. Like you recognize that this is what she's feeling right now. She's an empath. She's feeling the feelings of her son, and you have to address her on that level. If you don't, it's not going to make any sense what you're trying to say. You can't just say, "Well, he needs to learn how to defend himself." That's an ineffective communication. So again, meeting someone where they are. If I got these lazy boys who don't want to do anything and never grow up. And why in the world would I put the secrets to fixing that into a book, which is like probably the most work to access that, short of like going to some sort of a, Navy SEAL military camp to toughen them up physically. I don't do that stuff. Other people do. But, it occurred to me maybe I'm not meeting them where they are by putting this information into a book. Then, I felt better when I realized, hey, I also run a podcast, which shit, you can put that in the background while you're driving. You can have it on at your office. You can, listen to it in your headphones at night, whatever you do, however you listen to this or watch it. So it is accessible, and it's the same information. I mean, if you pay attention to how things went, I wrote the first book and then I started the podcast, and the podcast very quickly turned into what this is, into the masculinity field. Because The first book wasn't specifically about masculinity at all. There was one half of one chapter. Chapter four, I think, was about, I don't even remember what it's about. Shit, I haven't read that first book in a long time, but uh, and then the podcast very quickly turned into masculinity stuff. And then a couple years in, I'm like, man, I have a bunch of information to share, so I'm just gonna make a new book. And now that's where I am two more years later. Once after spending a bunch of time um, sort of dealing with my book, going to talk to other people on their podcast and having other people on my show and, just having conversations in general at the gym with people at the gas or whatever, whenever it comes up, you're thinking your knowledge about a topic, it's always expanding and maturing. And that's where I've come with the masculinity stuff at this point is to where, hey, we need outcomes. What should be in your life as a result of these things that you're doing? Because that's the question, that question will come up. Well, so if I do all this shit in your book, then what? How's it? Because I don't talk about how it's going to specifically make your life better. Not really. I just say, hey, do this shit, and there needs to be outcomes. So that's where we are with it. That's where I'm writing the third book here. But um, yeah, the work thing. Um, I actually like work. I mean, like I like to run and I like to lift weights. And let's just start at the gym. I mean, there isn't anything in the gym that's like fun. I mean, maybe they have a big gym where you can pick up basketball with people, and that's fucking fun, man. I used to love to play basketball. I haven't played in a long time. That's working out. That's fun. It is. Uh, but most stuff that you do in there, you're solitary. I look around and there might be 7, 8 people in my gym at a time, and we all have our headphones on, and you might get a nod from somebody, but that's about it. Like people are on their grind. You're in there, you're grinding. But I like that. I like going in there. It's like I put my phone someplace where I can't get to it. It's just close enough where I can get the music to my headphones, and and I work, and it hurts, and I sweat, and it's like a not like a penance or punishment. It's more like, let's see if I can do this. And with complete faith that when I'm done with it, I'm going to feel really good. I'll at least feel accomplished. And if I go real hard cardio wise, get into like a CrossFit workout or a good long hard run, or I'm going to have that runner's high. I'm going to have those endorphins and I'll feel great. So that's the backside of it. But you have to put the work in to get to the backside of it. And I guess that's the theme, right? That's the whole point of work. And that's what the book is too. You got to take the time to sit down and read the damn thing. It's only going to take you 3, 4 hours. It's not that long. It's Reviving Masculinity, I think it's 175 pages, and there's not a lot on each page and shit. There's a ton of, pictures and stuff, so it goes by quick, but it's still work, you know? But that's really the thing, if I were gonna make a, if I were gonna prescribe a solution or something to heal in a man, laziness or bitterness or anger or sadness or shame, any of those things, anxiety, depression, I would prescribe physical fucking work. Like, there is no better solution for mental health. There's no better solution. And if you're that young guy in your mom's basement at 28, um, it doesn't feel good. There's nobody down there in that basement going, this is fucking great, man. I love this. No place else I'd rather be. Nobody's there is there. And the solution is, like I said, it's the physical work. Because I mean, first of all, your body's going to change. Your mental state's definitely going to change. Your whole world is going to change. Your whole outlook. And man, I use the gym because it's easy and accessible. It's right around the corner. If it's fucking winter time, I can't do a whole lot outside. It's at least less comfortable to do stuff outside. I still take runs. I live like 4 miles from Lake Huron, which is one of the Great Lakes here in Michigan. And I could just, there's a park, Sheboygan State Park, and I could just park my truck and then go run down the beach in the middle of winter. It's the coolest shit in the world. I live in a really beautiful place. So I do some of that. But when it's warmer out, I love cutting wood. I love running my chainsaw and then hand splitting wood or using my log splitter. That's great work. Now you can look at a pile of stacked split wood and know, hey, I worked real hard on that. and that shit'll keep me warm, if I needed to. And that kind of work makes you feel better. I specifically talk about in the new book understanding liberalism, and without going through that, um, that's the cure for liberalism as well. Liberalism is about ideas and feelings. And if you don't have anything in your life that is black and white, on and off, right or wrong, if you don't have anything that's physically where you're actually touching something and changing it, then it's easy to just live in the world of feelings and and ideas. And those feelings and ideas become very illogical very quickly. And so that's my prescription there is to get out and do physical work. Either, when you live in a world like I do of construction where it's either done or it isn't, it's either right or it's not right. You're either paid or you're not fucking paid. Get rid of ideas and feelings pretty quickly because it's about facts at that point in your life. That's what you start making decisions based on facts. And the more you can engage with the physical world, specifically as a man, the more grounded you will be, the more things aren't going to be as big of a deal to you. The more, like I said, fear, anxiety, adversity is going to be easier to deal with. The more you are, like I said, grounded in a physical world. And that's work. All right. Uh, I think about how difficult it is to remain calm, like I said, in the face of something that's very hard, some kind of turmoil. But if you have already suffered some serious shit that day, so, you had a 10-mile run this morning and it was fucking hard. You're exhausted, but you're sharp mentally. You're clear. You're feeling great. Now you have to deal with some office shit. You got to talk to somebody in HR. Who cares? I mean, that's not as hard as a 10-mile run, no matter what. You're going to do better at that when you know that you kind of can't be broken, you know? That's the upside. Um, making money is no different. It isn't fun or easy to bypass the going out to eat all the time or going out drinking a lot or buying all the cool shit you want for your truck. That is not fun or easy to have that kind of discipline. It is a form of work. But when you can save all that money, put it into Bitcoin and watch that shit shoot through the roof over the next few months, um, then you can have a way nicer truck and you can go out to eat anytime you want to. But in the meantime, you probably are developing some good habits about eating well. It's pretty tough to go out to eat a lot and eat clean and not get fat and not feel bad, like gut rot, shit like that. It's pretty tough to go out to eat, especially where I live. I don't live, there's not a ton of options. It's as beautiful as it is, and I wouldn't live anywhere else. Um, yeah, it's pretty isolated. We don't have a whole lot of options here. You can have pizza or pizza. That's basically what we got, and that's okay. But yeah, with making money, of course that's work. You want to make money, you got to work. Do it. For me, no, I love doing these podcasts, and I love writing books, and I love every part of it. I got to over the last couple of months, I got to go visit some other content creators who are good dudes and really doing great things for this same space that I'm in. Really enjoyed being on the Burn Pit podcast a couple times. It was cool being on According to Men with Chris and Eric, and I get a chance to do that shit. And I put a lot of work into these books. And those are my ticket, like, they're my pass to get in, to meet these other people who do these things. Had I not put that work in, I wouldn't have these positive backsides that I get to deal with. Backsides sound like asses. These positive outcomes, I should say. What a neat thing that I've spent this time working, learning, and other people want to hear what I have to say. What a compliment. With men, so much of your world is about respect, you know, and to have people that you respect you as well. Again, hearing from Michael Kurchina, somebody that I really respect as a writer. He's a better writer than I am. Different subject matter, and he has a different style. He organizes his work differently than I do, but awesome. Just really, really good. Uh, to have him say, "Hey, man, let me send you a copy of my book, and here's a T-shirt, and here's some stickers," and do the same stuff that I like to do for other content creators. Make that deposit in. It's just a cool thing, and it's all a result of working hard. I can't talk about this shit. I can't talk about being physically fit in a fucking book that's going to last forever and not be physically fit myself. I can't talk about how, you need to be bold and take risks in your life and not do it myself, I have to, you know? We're talking about that with Chris and Eric about, I get asked that question sometimes. Well, you'll quit doing construction once when your book blows up, right? Try not, man, because I gotta have tough hands to be able to shake hands with somebody and have some credibility, I think. And again, if I get into the world where it's all just feelings and ideas, which is what's in a book, then I'm leaving that physical world and I become less able to be as grounded as I need to be. I become less, um, I go from, instead of being ideas, it become, I need to be practicing what I say, essentially. If I'm going to tell you to do it, I better fucking be doing it too. And I try to do that with the social media. I try to put out video or pictures of me doing the things that I say for you to do, as much as I can. But man, I just fucking don't like setting up the camera in the gym. It just fucks up my workout. If you see a video of me working out, chances are I finished my entire workout and I went back and I made some after the fact. I made some clips after I'm done with my workout. That's usually what I do if I'm going to put out something like that. But man, I try not to do the workout videos too much either because I don't want that to be what defines me. Because I'm not ripped, I'm pretty fucking strong and I can run hard and do all that stuff, but I'm not I'm not an Instagram model. I don't look like Chris Otto. That dude's ripped and he's in great shape, and that's never going to be my main thing. I got to have a little bit of meat on me so I can fucking cut wood. You know, it helps to be a little bigger for me for that stuff. But yeah, work, like I said, I wonder how I bridge that gap. And if you have some ideas, leave them in the comments. How do you bridge the gap from idea to practicality of, hey, you've got to work hard. And at the back end of the work is where you get your reward. How do you sell that without forcing it on someone? If you're a father, I believe you can make your sons get physical work done around the house. You can certainly hold their dinner over their heads or whatever you do. You can make them do that stuff. But in my position, I'm not there. I have to be putting out a product that is going to, it has to, you have to attract them. It has to be able to attract you in instead of forcing you in, right? And so far, I think most people who buy my work, um, they are already looking to improve, or they're already where they need to be. Like people read my book and tell me, "Oh, this is awesome," because the whole time they were getting validated. The whole time they read it, they're like, well, "I do that. Yep, I do that. Yep, I'm doing. Oh, there's something I can improve on." But mostly, I'm doing it, and they're reading it, going, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing all right." That I think I get a lot of feedback from people who that's where they are. That's the position they're in. But I need more. Hey, this helped me, this changed me, this made me better. And I get some of that too. I get some. Mostly it comes from parents who buy it for their sons, who tell me how their son has changed since reading it, which that's great feedback too. I love that. But again, I wonder, I don't know, I'm looking at it like I'm trying to change the whole world, and that's not the point. It's a very niche book. It should help a niche group of people, and if it helps them, great. I just read the other day that more and more high school seniors are considering themselves right wing or conservative. And it has so much to do with the fact that the school district is just hammering feminism into them at all times. Like, look at these girls. They're doing a great job. They're awesome. And you over here, you're worthless. All of your instincts, all the things that you genetically can do as a man, we don't value that and we don't like it. We don't want you acting like that. You need to act more like these girls who are awesome. You know, that's how boys feel in school. And this book is they can read this and go, "Holy shit, I am good. The things that I want, the things that I need, the things that I want my life to be is actually good." You know, it's not how they tell me it is in the schools. It actually, I actually am good. These things that I want and I desire. And you can read that as a man the same way, because the same shit's going to happen. That we live in a very femme-centric world where 80% of consumer decisions are made by females at least. And I can go on and on with statistics, but just know that we live in a world that's uber soft, uber civilized, and that's the domain of women. Okay, that's an indoor world. All right, that's the world you live in. You live in an indoor world. You are an outdoor person. That's what men are. We are supposed to be outside, getting dirty, getting bruised up, um, fighting dragons. You know, and it just because there are no dragons literally to fight right now. That doesn't mean you can't be ready. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be ready because you need to be. Uh, that's what it is. And again, that's work. It's me telling you to prepare for a future that might not even exist. That's me telling you to, hey, you need to be in great shape because, well, shit, you live indoors and probably nothing's going to happen, you know? But there's this other side of that, saving money. And I talk a lot about building my own house. There's a mental calm that comes with preparedness. Whole chapter on preparedness in the new book. There's a peace of mind that comes with that. And it's knowing you're prepared for anything. If you're that guy who, you live in a subdivision home and got leased vehicles and you can't do anything with your hands and you're unarmed and you're unprepared mentally for any kind of fallout, any kind of, say you have a weather, you know, disaster or we get invaded or, heaven forbid, all these terrible things. That probably will never happen. It's true. But how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night knowing that if it does, you're fucked? And you're so fucked, you know? I sleep at night knowing I'm in pretty good shape and I got a bunch of meat in the freezer and I know how I will heat my house if the shit goes down and I know how I will get water and I know how I will take care of myself and I've got lots of guns and lots of ammo and I know how I'll be. And that makes me feel pretty good. I mean, there's a hell of a peace of mind that comes with that. But it takes work to get there. It takes constant daily work and discipline to get to where you can say that. Yeah, I'm prepared pretty much for anything that might happen, you know? And my preparation gets more and more detailed as time goes by as I learn more. Um, that's another upside of it, that really is, I think, that's an instant upside of doing all the work that I'm telling you you have to do to be good at being a man, is that you get to sleep at night like a baby, knowing that no matter what happens, you're okay. You're good. I mean, I built this house exactly how I wanted it. It's got a hidden gun closet in it. I've got it working on a bunker out back. Uh, it's on a well. I've got a septic system. I can run all of that with a generator. Like I'm good. Like I said, freezer full of meat, plenty of food, plenty of ammo, and I sleep like a baby, and it's awesome. And I know I'm fit, and I know I'm strong, and I know I've practiced all these things. I know that I'm decisive, and if this decision needs to be made, I make it, even if I'm not 100% prepared. Because in action, that's a decision too. I know I'm accountable. When I fuck up, I tell people, yeah, I fucked that up. I'm sorry. Um, I'm honest. I do all these things and I make myself do it. Let me tell you, you want to get good at this shit, write a book about it. You'll get pretty good at it. You really will. Uh, but yeah, it's work. It's a ton of work, and that's what I'm selling. I'm pitching that you need to be out there grinding. Think about that. Think about this. There's a fundamental difference when it comes to failure. Okay, because a lot of this work, you're going to go out there and you're going to fail. Okay, you're going to go out there and try to cut wood and you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to try to save money, you're going to make an investment that goes bad, you're going to fail. You're going to do your best in a relationship and she's going to fucking leave you. That's going to happen. But the upside you have as a man is that those things, those failures, they toughen you. They build character, and that for a man is extremely useful. It's uh it's valuable to become it gives you more of your manness. Whereas a woman, the more she fails, the more scars she has, the less feminine she becomes, the less pure, the less youthful, the less attractive to the opposite sex she's going to be with all these failures, because they will harden her. And that invariably makes you less soft, less warm, less of the things that make you a woman. For a man, that makes you more, you know. Uh, yeah, you're lucky in that way. Nature is very kind to women. You want to be on $1 million boat in the Caribbean as a woman, all you got to be is hot. You want to be on $1 million boat as a man, you got to make enough money to buy a fucking $1 million boat. So nature is kind to women, but time, hard work, failure, discipline, all of those are kind to men. Okay, more character, more scars. Chick dig scars, right? Um, wounds heal, glory is forever. The more of that you're going to have, the more you work. And You know, like I look at my body and I can look at my hands, my arms, and my legs, they're fucking covered in scars from just physically working, which I love. I built my own damn house. And I got huge scars on my legs because I insist on working in shorts no matter what. So I'm all scarred up from the knees down, and that's all right. But yeah, that's it. That's work. Okay. Work is fucking hard, but it makes you more of a man. I think I did a good job explaining that. I know I'm pitching a thing that's difficult, but there isn't a thing in life that's easy. Okay, if it was easy, everybody'd fucking do it. And fewer and fewer people are choosing the route of natural, healthy masculinity. Nobody wants to do that because the world believes that that it is no longer necessary. And maybe it isn't exactly necessary right now at the moment, but again, that feeling of preparedness, completely invaluable, and that toughening yourself and learning to work hard and learning to enjoy the grind, invaluable. Invaluable. It gives you a sense of calm that you wouldn't believe. So that's hard work. My name is Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. Please go buy a copy of my book. I talk about it all the time. It is the crowning achievement of my life so far, and I've done some cool shit. I've got a master's degree. I ran a marathon, climbed a mountain in Alaska. But writing this book has been the coolest thing I've done so far. And I want to share it with you guys. So check it out at travisneville.com. All right, I hope that in some way today's show about work has helped you to get your shit together. Have a great week.